Okay, I've tried to make this video several times now, and every single time I end up going on a yap fest that lasts like 20 minutes. I'm going to really, 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 really try to not do that today, okay? Because I got a decent amount to talk about. But I want to make it concise. So, as you guys probably read in the title, I got injured again. Really quick story about that. Might even throw some clips up here, but I don't want to do a lot of editing on this video, so we'll see what happens. But I was in like week 12 or week 13 of the total specialist, and as I was going in for my SBD day, started off the squats course, and my top set went fine, back off sets were going good, and as I was re-racking my first back off set, you guys may have you guys may have known that I complain about the racks at my gym a lot because they're so wide. Well, the reason why came up in that session. Basically, I walked it back in, and because I wasn't at perfect alignment with the rack or at a perfect angle, because the rack itself is actually not aligned with the mirror, whole nother story. Basically, what ended up happening was I dinged the J hook while I was walking my squat back in. That caused me to helicopter swerve out. The set itself went fine, but that dinging of the J hook was the only thing that really kind of screwed me up. Um, Next set, I unracked the bar, and as I'm walking out, one of the plates gets caught on the J hook on the inside. Some of the plates have a little bit of a lip. Well, it got caught on the inside of the J hook, and that caused me to lurch forward. And basically, what happened there was I started to feel a ton of pain in my right shoulder. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta re-whack this. I can't squat anymore. I'm done." Now I thought it was just like tendonitis stuff, and it was like, just general discomfort. So me being the ingenious person that I am, I went to, I went to go do my close grip bench right after squatting, and I started to feel something kind of not great in the warm ups, and basically just thought it was tendonitis. But as I got to my first working set, which is 250 pounds, I got into the hole. And when I was in the stretch position down here with 250 pounds on my chest, I could really feel it. Now I could finish the set, no problem. But after doing just that one rep, I was like, oh my gosh, this is just too much. So I basically re-racked it and went home. Hoped that it was just some sort of soreness, some sort of tendonitis, that maybe sleeping on it would help. But the next morning, it was even worse, actually. So yeah, basically, I had to call the pull program because a shoulder injury is a death sentence for any sort of strength progression, especially in powerlifting when the shoulders are such an important aspect of all three lifts. Although I could have deadlifted, but I was very distraught at this point. Obviously, I felt like I was getting momentum in training. Everything I had been working so hard for, just kind of gone in a second. And it really put the idea of me hitting any PRs this year in terms of my power lifts like in jeopardy. My goal for the end of the program, I never really mentioned it explicitly, but it was to hit a 1,300 pound total. I was projecting like a 465 squat, a 440 deadlift, and a 385 bench press. Obviously, that didn't happen. The injury also put like a bunch of goals that I had for the whole year in jeopardy because I basically wanted to squat 500 this year. That was a big goal for me that I wanted to do. I wanted to get as close to 400 on the bench as I could before, obviously cutting so much weight that I have to sacrifice press gains. Obviously, being able to deadlift like 495 would be awesome as well. So all of those might be on hold and might not be achievable, rather, is what I meant to say. All those might not be achievable this year because of this injury in the shoulder. Now, that injury took place about the beginning of March. So it is now the beginning of May. We're about 2 months since that injury. and like I said, I've been trying to make this video for a long time, and every single time it just comes out terrible. And I don't know if this version is any better, but I'm going to try to make it as concise as possible. So, because there's a lot of other factors at play here. But yeah, it's been 2 months since that injury. I've begun the rehab process. Basically, in a nutshell, I deduced that the injury was either a strain of the pec minor, because the pain was like close to like the top of the delt, like it could have been around where the pec minor connects to the head of the delt right here, or it was a SLAP lesion, which I believe stands for superior labrum anterior posterior. Might not be true. I'll have to put the proper name up, but I believe that is what it's called. And there are various grades of both pec strains and these lesions. Either way, I did a very simple rehab process in which, I did a lot of mobilization of the shoulder, a lot of internal external rotations, for high volume with a band, and this because of the unique resistance profile of the band, as well as getting a lot of reps in to get blood flow to the area, and that was pretty effective. I still feel it from time to time, like it's not 100% now, but it's at the point where I don't think it's going to affect my lifts as much. I haven't tested it obviously close to maximal, because I haven't really been training, but I have squatted with it, and that was okay. Obviously, in a different rack. I have benched with it, and that was all right. Sometimes it was an issue. So I don't know how that's going to go moving forward. I'm going to have to. I think it'll be okay. And obviously, I used to not be able to do any pulling motions, and now I'm able to do pulling motions no problem. So, it's made good progress. I wouldn't say that it's completely rehabbed, but I would say that we're pretty much there. Anyway, another reason that it took me so long to make a video that actually wasn't just a bunch of garbage vomited into a camera is because my life during this time period took like a tremendously horrendous turn. To put it in a nutshell, for like the third time in the last let's say 3 years, this is going to sound super dramatic, and it is, but it's really, I can't think of any other way to describe it to get the point across. But essentially, I was betrayed. I was betrayed by people who I cared about, who I trusted, and who could affect me emotionally at a very high level. And, essentially, I was lied to, I was manipulated, and again, no details because who cares about anything really, but it plunged me into like a super, super depression, like just like the most depression you could really get. Like, didn't enjoy eating anything. Nothing tasted good. Didn't enjoy any of my hobbies. Obviously I was already injured at this time, but even just doing whatever at the gym, completely non-enjoyment. It's just like the most depressed I could possibly be. And yes, I was in a dark place, let's just say. And still I am, because the situation has not resolved itself. But yeah, this was like compounding on top of, being not able to finish another program, which is like so frustrating for me. And then, just not having anybody in my life that actually, when people say for like dramatic effect in like a motivational speech or some cringe Instagram caption, nobody cares about you, like you have to like it's a way, like, you gotta look out for yourself because nobody cares about your suffering. I always thought that was a bunch of baloney. Like, obviously, somebody's going to care about you. You're just trying to say that to act tough. But this whole experience has really taught me, you know, legitimately nobody cares. I have told people who I thought were like super close to me all this and more, and all of what I was feeling in much more detail. And I got two types of responses. I got, damn, that's crazy, or don't be silly. Like, those are the two types of responses I got. So all of that is to say that, it's not, and whatever, it's not their responsibility to care. I'm just saying, like, I've had to go through this by myself. Like, I'm like a completely alone in this and in these feelings and trying to pull myself out of it, And on top of that, I've been unemployed, so I didn't even have a job. Like, I had no money. So I'm sitting here. I'm injured. I'm broke, and I'm depressed, and I'm nowhere near any of my goals. Like, I'm still just as fat as I always have been. In fact, even more so. So I will say that in the last couple of weeks, after everything kind of fell and I was at the most dark point I could possibly be, I began to like really internalize the message that, look, nobody's going to help me out of this. Like, I have to do this myself, and I can either just end it all, at least like at the lower stakes. Like, I thought about quitting YouTube, for instance. Like, this is going to be another failure on my notch. Like, I thought about quitting YouTube. God damn it, I'm still yapping. I'm gonna have to cut this down. Fuck it. This one has to go up. I can't keep postponing this shit. I hadn't done anything that I wanted to do, and making videos wasn't even fun anymore. And I didn't know why I was doing it. I had already basically deleted my Instagram. Thought about just deleting everything, going radio silent, and just just throwing in the towel. It's over. I didn't accomplish anything. So what's the point of continuing? But in recent weeks, things have somewhat looked up. I've gotten a job. I became employed again. It's a crap job for piss money, but it's better than not doing anything and wallowing in self-pity, I suppose. So there's that. I've gotten back into like feeling that I need to diet and cut all this weight off. Like, I really want to prioritize that. In a weird way, the injury preventing me from testing has kind of made me maybe more determined to push it in the gym. I just got to figure out what I want to do specifically. I guess distance made the heart grow fonder, and after 2 months of hating everything, I came back to the gym and I really liked it. So I don't know. But yeah, things are looking up. It's not good. I'm not in a good place. And I still want to die, but at least it's not as bad as it was. This could be the last video on the channel. I might just exit after this. Maybe even shut this whole thing down. Fuck if I know. Like, I don't know what to do. But yeah, this ended up being a Yap Fest video anyway. So whatever. I'm going to just cut it down and put it up because I have to say something that's getting a little awkward. So yeah, I got injured and I want to quit. Peace out. Where's the off button?